everyone, it's Plant Mama Tatiana, and today I'm going to rank houseplants. I'm not sure if all of you are familiar with Tier Maker. It is this website where people have different tiers and ranking systems for all sorts of different things and different photos of what you can rank, and you basically drag and drop them into different levels and categories and rank them. Obviously there is a tier maker already out there for houseplants. It's the houseplant tier list, and I adjusted it a little bit, so I made my own category names. I'm going to go through this tier maker with you all. I haven't done it yet. I haven't picked anything out yet, so it will be live and going through my different opinions on these plants. So I have my laptop here, and let's just rank plants together. I made these categories up. It goes from best at the top to worst. And the different tiers I have are the top tier, the God tier is I would die for this plant. Then I have beautiful and reliable, not always getting both, so that's very important. Then I have I love this plant, but this plant hates me. You know, very relatable. Then great plant, but I wouldn't be devastated if it died. Plants that are easily replaceable perhaps, or I don't feel that strongly about, but I still love them. Then I have IDKY, I bought these TBH. Feel like I'm not gonna put any in that category because I love all plants. I don't regret any, but we'll see.
Feel like I'm not gonna put any in that category, but we'll see.
Then I have this plant makes me want to die. Very personal. Sometimes I am attacked by my plants. And then I have I wish I owned this plant, sad face, because I have a feeling I actually don't have a lot of these plants. So let's just get started. Monstera deliciosa. Honestly, I gotta put this one in beautiful and reliable. I mean, I've got one right next to me. They're so pretty and they're pretty easy to take care of in my opinion. We'll see what happens. I haven't had it for very long. I find them to be pretty consistent and pretty easy and low maintenance. They don't need a ton of light, and they're just gorgeous plants. The next one is a Diffenbachia something. I can't really read that, but let's just say the Diffenbachia in general. I think those are really, really, really pretty plants, but I actually do not own this plant, and I wish I did. That's going right into that wish I owned this plant category. The next one is the Philodendron Brazil. I do own this plant. I love this plant. This is an amazing plant. It's so beautiful. It's so fast growing. I think I'm gonna put it in beautiful and reliable. The next one is a rubber tree, it looks like. I also don't own this plant. I also think this plant is really pretty, and I do not have it, unfortunately, so it's going into I wish I owned this plant, because if I don't have the plant, I wish I owned it. That's just what it is. I want them all. Bird of Paradise. I think you guys know how I feel about this plant. I would die for this plant. This is one of my favorite plants that I own. It is amazing. I am absolutely obsessed with the Bird of Paradise. It is the perfect plant in my opinion. I would do anything for this plant. I would literally die for this plant. I love this plant. The next one is aloe vera. Ooh, I'm kind of deciding between I would die for this plant and beautiful and reliable. I think I just have to go beautiful and reliable because I don't think I would die for the aloe vera, but I do love this plant a lot. It's gorgeous, it's fast growing, it multiplies like crazy, it's really, really easy to take care of, and it's just such a pretty plant. The next one is the monstera adansonii. I also don't own this plant, and I wish I did. I'm sad about it. The next one is the SCINDAPSUS pictus. I love this plant, but this plant hates me. I do love this plant, it's really wonderful, but I have had one that's kind of died. I think I just forgot it was there and didn't take care of it. And now I have another little cutting that's growing, and they are pretty fast growing, but it's not growing as well for me as maybe a philodendron would. It got kind of crinkly looking leaves. I think this plant could move up into beautiful and reliable if I did a better job with it, but again, I just don't do very well for this plant. I don't have that plant. It's not labeled. I'm pretty sure I don't have it. It looks like some sort of HOYA. I really don't know, so I just have to put that in. I wish I owned this plant. The next one is the HOYA COMPACTA CARNOSA. It's literally right behind me. I am obsessed with this plant. It was a bushless plant for a really long time. I would die for this plant. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing. It's so unique. every time I look at it, I'm happy. The next one looks like a maranta prayer plant. It looks like one of the red ones. I don't have the red one, but I'm just gonna say maranta in general. And again, I would die for this plant. It was one of my first plants. It grows so fast. It is flirty. It is cute. It is just the most amazing plant ever. Super fast growing. Only needs medium to low light, which is really nice when I have north-facing windows. It doesn't need a lot of maintenance. It does need some filtered or bottled water or something like that, distilled water, but it's worth the hassle. I would die for that plant. The next one is the teddy bear plant, or the teddy bear vine. I actually do have this plant. It was a plant that I got in a purge, a plant purge, and it was doing okay for a little bit, and then it wasn't, and then it got really crispy, and I actually left this plant with my mom when I was in Florida because I just didn't have space for it. I didn't have room for a plant that wasn't going to love me as much as I loved it. I'm going between IDK why I bought this and great plant but wouldn't be devastated if I died. I think I'm gonna go IDK why I bought this. At the current state that this plant was in, I was really kind of just devastated with it, but I think at the same time I wouldn't be I don't know, I'm indecisive. I'm gonna say IDK why I bought this.
I feel like I'm not gonna put any in that category
For now, because I paid for the shipping of this plant, so it really wasn't expensive, but I was just a little disappointed in it, honestly. I wanted it to do better. I do like some of the vines, but until you get a full nice looking plant like the photo there, it's not great to have. The next one is the heartleaf philodendron. I do have a couple of these. I'm just going to call this some philodendron in general. I would say beautiful and reliable. I mean, they grow fast, they don't have super difficult care needs, they're really easy to propagate. What more do you need in a plant? The next one is Alocasia poly. I don't have this exact alocasia, so it would go in the I wish I owned this plant category, but let's call this just Alocasia in general, just to make it more generic, and I'm putting it in I love this plant, but this plant hates me. I have had many Alocasia die. I think they're one of the most beautiful plants, all of them. I really like Alocasia, but I just can't keep them alive. Or if I do keep them alive, they look pathetic. So the next one is the HOYA CARNOSA Jade. I do not own this plant. I do want more Hoyas in my life, and I feel like I would enjoy having more Hoyas. I just don't right now, so I really don't have much to say about that. Neon pothos. I actually don't own a neon pothos either, but I do have a golden pothos. I have an enjoy pothos, so I'm going to, oh, I see golden pothos on this list, so I'm just gonna go into I wish I owned this plant. Sorry. The next one, some sort of pepperomia. The text is really small, so I can't read exactly what that says. I don't own any pepperomia, and I wish I did. I think they're really beautiful plants, but for some reason I just haven't gotten my hands on one, so that is in the I wish I owned that plant. Then I have the HOYA Crimson Queen on the list. I have something that I think might be a Crimson Queen, but it could also just be a regular HOYA Carnosa. I really don't know what it is. I would put this in I wish I owned this plant, but yeah, I don't think it fits in any other category. I wish I had it. I wish I had more experience with it. Cebu Blue, I got a cutting of this plant from a soiled plant. Check out that video if you haven't seen it. I do an unboxing of a ton of awesome plants she sends me. She sent me an alocasia, she sent me a Cebu Blue. She actually sent me the SCINDAPSUS plant that I have. It's actually not a SCINDAPSUS pictus, so I'm just calling the SCINDAPSUS plant generically, not the I don't have the actual pictus one. I forgot exactly what it is, but it's more like the silver pothos, but you guys get what I mean. But the Cebu Blue, I love this plant, but this plant hates me. I just can't get it to grow really fast. It is a cutting. I get a lot of leaves that are dying from it. I just don't know why it's unhappy or what it doesn't like. It's growing a little bit, but not a lot, and that makes me sad, so it is what it is. The spider plant is beautiful and reliable. The spider plant is super easy to propagate. Every time I look at it, I'm just so happy because it grows so fast and it's just so satisfying. Golden pothos. Would I die for this plant? Maybe I'll just put the golden pothos in beautiful and reliable. I do love this plant, but it's pretty easily replaceable, so it's not something that I would feel the need to die for if it would save its life. The next one is the bird nest Sansevieria. I don't own this plant exactly, but I'm just gonna call it Sansevieria in general, and I'm gonna say a great plant, but I wouldn't be devastated if it died. I own some different Sansevieria snake plants. I like them, I do. I'm just not going to cry if they don't make it because I feel they're easily replaceable. Then I have the pink polka dot plant. Again, this plant hates me. Honestly, no. This plant makes me want to die because it's so difficult to deal with. I just can't get it to thrive. I don't like how they grow really leggy if you don't take care of them. I don't like how dry they get. I do love the leaves, but this plant doesn't last more than a couple weeks in my opinion. It's just too picky. I really like this plant. My boyfriend and I had this plant for a little bit and I didn't make it, and now I'm traumatized even though I do like this plant, but it just upsets me. It just upsets me how sensitive they are. I just want them to be better. The next one, I can't read what that says, but that looks to me like a TRADESCANTIA, but like not a purple one. I think I had these in my mom's garden. I would just put this in, I don't know why I bought this. I don't really like how those ones look if I'm guessing that this is the plant. I do like how they crawl, but if you're going to get a TRADESCANTIA, you should get one that's purple and not green. That's just my opinion. And the last plant on this list is the mini orchid. I love an orchid. They are pretty. I think I have to put orchids into great plant, but I wouldn't be devastated if it died because at the end of the day they are pretty easy to replace. You can get other orchids and you just kind of have to expect that those flowers are going to fall off pretty quickly, and unless you have an environment where there's really high humidity and you can keep them outside or put them outside somewhere, it's really hard to get them to re-spike and re-bloom. I've done it a couple of times with orchids, but I feel like that's only been successful in Florida. It hasn't been successful in New York. They just like to be a lot warmer, a lot more indirect light. I think they're beautiful, they're great, but you can't beat yourself up if they don't make it. So that's my tier list of houseplants. Let me know if you agree with my placement. Let me know if you disagree with anything. Definitely do this tier yourself if you want to. I think it's super fun to rank plants. It's just one of my favorite things to think about. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like videos like this or all things plants. I love to talk about plants, so definitely join my channel if you're into that as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!